Hello, everyone. This is Max Bemis, formerly of Say Anything and Two Tongues and Perma. I also write comics and I'm a dad, and that about covers it. I wanted to check in because it's been a minute since I've done anything on social media besides post the odd picture of my dogs and my cute kids and show off my mustache at times. But really, I used to sort of interact with social media in a really what I felt was significant way in my life, negative and positive. Kind of the early days of when Twitter was Instagram. And it went from being sort of offering thoughts about music or about life that I hope helped people or clued people into sort of what my work is about, to just being like everyone or not everyone, but many people who have like a toxic relationship with social media, reading every negative comment and sort of sitting on there and arguing with unarguable people about things like politics. And some people can handle it, all power to you. So I really did retreat. And I wanted to kind of say that with the tools available now, I would love to be able to be more in touch with the people who like my music, who support me as a person, as a dad, my friends, everyone, through social media. So like, there's going to be more of a like proxy sort of firewall to keep me from going literally nuts, from seeing unspeakable things said about me and my family. But I would love to do stuff almost every day to sort of give back to the people who have given me everything. Just knowing that I've had any sort of positive effect on the world was something that is therapy for me. So the fact that it's even helping anyone is pretty good. Given that I've been inactive on social media for so long, I feel like there's some kind of major stuff to catch you guys up on that seems kind of obvious. So a big thing over the past few years, for us, for our family, was me and Sherry grappling with becoming, we're basically 40 at this point. I mean, we're both pretty wizened. We're both like old souls, so like I feel like we were 40 like 5 years ago. But at the same time, it was a rude awakening. And, I had a sort of dalliance with having bad mental health that I shared about in the past. But for anyone who sort of missed out on that giant fiasco, for the first time in 15 years, ironically, because it's sort of what I'm known for, I sort of had a manic episode and treated myself crappily for a very brief amount of time. And since then, I've had to grow to become more mindful than ever because I have 5 kids now, which is, I think, something you probably have figured out because it's the only thing I've even posted about. 5 of them. And they're the best kids in the world. So they're addicting themselves. So that took over. And part of that, was Sherry going through her own struggle with substance abuse that she's, been brave enough to talk about and share on her Instagram, which is honestly, no matter what, will always be more interesting than mine. And she'll talk about that more if she wants. If not, you're just going to have to project yourself onto that situation, as you probably are already. Hopefully, some of you, whether you're a friend or someone who vaguely understands who I am and was curious, or if you're like a fan of my music and comics, you understand how much Sherry means to me, and that never changed through all of this, but also made it, probably the most challenging time of my life to see someone I love hurting like that and grappling with things that I had sort of grappled with in my own way, but in a different way. And one of the big things that I came to is my relationship with codependency. I think there's been a sort of stereotype of me almost being a just a unruly addict for so long that, like, you know what I mean? I think people can just dismiss it and say, and I've used in the past, but it never really, the bipolar itself and taking care of myself were huge. Learning to do that. I mean, I literally had to go away to a program to learn how to do that. But lately, in my, I was always codependent, but only when I was with someone who's actually an amazing person and loves me deeply could I understand how that can actually be a negative thing and interfere with someone I love's progress as a person and my own progress as a person. And it became, important that I treat it just as seriously as Sherry is treating her journey. There's a bunch of sort of productive changes that have literally clicked in the past month that, are giving me the opportunity to kind of set up being myself again. And a big part of that is communicating and interacting with the people who support me. All the support that y'all give to us is a big part of that, always. Fans, I hate saying the word fan, but like whatever, we have the best fan base in the world, and it's mostly people like us. So I don't see it like we're talking down to some like, commoner plebs. It's like you guys are us. And if anything, that's why you connect so much to Sherry's stuff and why you connect to my music. I'm working on a project that is essentially the successor to Say Anything, because Say Anything's done for the time being. I feel like this is almost like in the main line of what I do. So if Say Anything was the most important creative thing that I was doing musically, this is on that level. I've already completed the EP that was referenced in the Kickstarter, and we're still planning to send that out for free to the people who supported the Kickstarter. Sherry's starting now to work on her EP now that she's getting healthy and feeling way better. I've actually also recorded a full length of this same project. Kind of explaining it more would I think be a disservice to actually revealing what it is, to be honest. If you are a fan of Say Anything and have been like, what is he doing now? Is the band together? Like what the fuck is this now? Is he just the song shop guy? This is gonna kind of define me, I think, going forward, as on the same way that Say Anything did. If some of the podcasts that I follow went on hiatus, I would just like have an anxiety attack because they give me comfort and safety. So if anything like that has been triggered in you guys due to us disappearing, we want to kind of give back. And there's something, both free and quite extensive that's gonna come out on Monday through Bandcamp. I'm gonna be resuming my Mental Academy classes as well as reopening the song shop in a couple of weeks, and I'll be keeping you abreast on that, as well as the kind of comic projects that I have coming up. Heavy from Vault is wrapping up this year, and I'm extremely excited about that series. If you haven't caught up with it, please check out comicsology.com, comics with an X, ology.com. That's kind of like the iTunes of comics. Most of it's already out. The 8th issue already came out, and it's the most personal comic by far I've ever written. The least vaguely disguised allegory about my own life and the fly. Do I now have a fly meme happening? This fly better have a publicist. I've got a graphic novel, my first, I guess, sort of mainstream graphic novel being released that I'm writing now, and a couple of projects that I think people are going to be really stoked about that are, other people's properties. So similar to my Marvel stuff and Centipede, where it's not my original work. And finally, I am in the beginning stages of planning my own podcast, which is a very original idea that no one has done in the past 2 years, start their own podcast, because they talk a lot and have nothing better to do. That said, those are the things I'm kind of known for, talking a lot and, I guess not having anything better to do than talking a lot. I think I'm at least equipped to be one of the million people who have a podcast. I do deeply apologize that for anything that has fallen by the wayside in terms of like these problems, some of it being our responsibility, some of it forced on us, some of it due to the state of the world at large. The same it is with anyone out there. I'm sure everyone's had some variation of these problems in the past few years. But I still apologize, because we have a responsibility to y'all. We have a responsibility to to give back, because no matter what, I think it's a gift that we're allowed to do this for a living in any capacity. So thank you guys so much for being patient, and I guess I'm back to some extent. Hopefully this isn't a bunch of nay and that I again disappear tomorrow, but who knows? One fucking day at a time, they say. So easy, isn't it? One day. One day is easy. It's going to be good, especially with the music project. For those of you, everything that I do kind of leads back to my music being the first thing that got me any attention on a national level. So I will say this is the most excited I've been about music since I was 14 or 15 and starting to play and say anything and doing our junior varsity EP. It feels like back then with this new project, because it's probably similar to everyone coming out of this really dark time. So I love you guys, and I'm now going to edit the shit out of this so that there's less and which is actually really fun and a fun task for those of us who have obsessive compulsive disorder. I'm thinking about it too much. Okay. Watch it not have recorded.